Hello and welcome to my porch here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's about 12:30 at night. I'm out here smoking my little cigar, having my coffee with the lid on it. Gotta have the lid because the lights attract bugs. You don't want bugs getting in their coffee. I don't think we need that kind of protein. Um, it's raining today or tonight, or just stopped. It's probably going to rain again. Good thing I have an umbrella on my porch patio table. Why am I making this video tonight? Because I can. Plus, midnight was the first hour of a medication routine that doctors threw at me today, or a little pack of medications like this, little pills all the way across, and a little reverse slide. First day, give them this many. This second day, this many. This la la la. The first day starts at midnight. Is give them a pill every 3 hours. And I tell you very specifically, don't miss a dose. You'll mess it all up. We'll have to redo this again in a week or something. You have to give them a pill every 3 hours. And the second day, every 4 hours. And the third day, every 5 hours. And so on for a week. That's the life of a family caregiver. And that kind of medication routine wouldn't be hard in a hospital, but you don't want to send your loved one to a hospital for a week. You'll get them back ruined. They'll be totally out of it when they get them back, and weaker than ever. So as a solo family caregiver, I got to be up every 3 hours to give my dad his medication every 3 hours. That's going to be my weekend. Today's Friday. Well, today's Saturday now, because it's midnight, after midnight. When you're a solo family caregiver, you got to do it yourself. If you've got partners working it with you at home, you can break that into 12-hour shifts between you two. But it's still every 3 hours. And what effect does that have on your loved one who has to be woken up every 3 hours? That throws everything off. And this is the life of a family caregiver. This is what we have to endure and get through. You know, people call me up. I got relatives that come in over the holidays, and they keep inviting us out to eat, Dad and I, or just me. And they don't understand that I can't do that. We can't go to a busy restaurant they want to go to. I can't leave Dad alone to come out. And there's something else I want to say on a personal level. When you go out with people, let's say you get somebody to watch your loved one, and you're a caregiver, and you go out with people. You only have a finite amount of time to go out, and you're out there and you're enjoying it. Still worried about your loved one, of course, because that's ingrained as a caregiver. But you get through that, and they're all having a good time. They're all planning to do other stuff afterwards. As good a time you might have had with them, you're going back home. You have to go back home. You can't say, well, blow it off and go out with them. And you see people living their lives, going out having a good time, continuing good time, when you got to go back into life. It's really very difficult on us on many levels. And of course, you invite them over, and a lot of them don't want to come over for dinner. It's boring. Just sit there, watch TV, and I gotta leave them alone a lot. Go in the bedroom to do the caregiving stuff. And there's always that relative that, or relatives that I mean, you're in the bedroom changing your loved one's adult protective underwear, and they walk in thinking it's fine for them to be there. It's not fine for them to be there. They don't seem to understand that. Well, we're family. Well, I had one nephew was over here last year, and he came into the bedroom when me and a senior helper were changing my dad out, getting him cleaned up. And of course, you don't want to say something in front of your loved one, and if your loved one doesn't want them there. But anyway, so I was changing out, cutting off his underwear, pulling them off. I was on the floor doing that. And I pulled the underwear off, and it's full of fecal matter, of course. And I reach over to grab the trash can, and he sees all this and goes out and almost vomits. It's not the same thing as changing a baby or watching a baby get changed. And to see that can throw you off. So some people off, especially if they're not used to it, the smell or the look of it. It's very different being a family caregiver than being a parent. And a lot of parents think, I have it just as hard. I have to watch my kid all the time. I got to do this. I got to get up when they're 3 o'clock in the morning if they're crying. Not the same thing. Or teething or whatever. Not the same thing. When you're dealing with an adult. It's not. Plus, you can't. If you get sick or have to rush off, you can always call somebody, your friend or your family or whatever, to come watch your kid or take your kid. And people will watch your kid just like that. Not always, but you know what I mean. But you try that with an adult. People don't want to come. They don't know how to do this. They don't want to do this. I mean, everybody knows basically how to change a toddler's diaper and how to do a little wipe up and how to give them a bottle or whatever. But dealing with an adult is a whole different thing, especially if they're fighting you. And a little kid gets up in the night, you don't have to worry as much as when an adult gets up. Little kid falls on the floor, which they fall a lot. Toddlers, that's why they call them toddlers, I think. But when you have an elderly toddler, they do this, boom, they break their hip. Not the same thing at all. You can't pick up an elderly toddler. You can pick up a toddler, put it back in bed, lift them back in bed. You pick up an adult, I don't care if they're 98 pounds. If they're not cooperating and they forgot how to use their limbs, you pick them up off the floor without bruising or breaking anything, and then tell me it's the same thing as being a parent of a young child. It's not. But medical professionals, they throw these kind of routines at us as medication routines and tell you you have to do this, you can't skip. Who comes up with these medications? and they can't really explain to you fully and clearly enough why it's every 3 hours and why it's required every 3 hours. Makes no sense, does it? In any case, that's what I'm doing this weekend, staying up, being being an insomniac, and it's going to be a long weekend and a long rest of the week, but that's what I have to do as a family caregiver. And I'm letting you have a glimpse into the life that we have to endure and what you will have to endure if you become a family caregiver, because your loved one may never have this kind of thing, but it's possible as they progress. If you don't want to sign them off to a nursing home, this is what you have to do. And I've been doing this a very long time. In any case, I'm going to sign off here, and I will talk to you again at another time.